Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your life is out of control? Like stress controls you, fear controls you, excuses control you? But what if I told you that the moment you learn to control your mind, you begin to control your entire life? Because the truth is this, your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest prison. And today, I want you to make a decision. A decision to stop being a slave to doubt, negativity, and fear, and start becoming the master of your destiny. Have you ever noticed that two people can face the exact same situation, yet one rises stronger while the other completely falls apart? One sees opportunity where the other sees defeat. One keeps moving while the other gives up. What creates that difference? It is not money. It is not luck. It is not talent. It is the mind. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not with the world around you. It is with the thoughts inside your own head. And the moment you understand that, your life begins to change forever. Most people are not controlled by reality. They're controlled by the way they think about reality. Think about that for a second. A single negative thought can destroy confidence, steal energy, and stop someone from chasing their dreams. At the same time, one powerful belief can give a person the courage to build businesses, change lives, and overcome impossible obstacles. Your thoughts are shaping your future every single day, whether you realize it or not. That is why controlling your thoughts is one of the most important skills you will ever develop in your life. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Your mind listens to everything you say to yourself. When you constantly repeat, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, or life is against me, your brain begins to accept those words as reality. Slowly, doubt becomes your identity. Fear becomes your prison. Excuses become your lifestyle. But the beautiful thing is this, the opposite is also true. The moment you start telling yourself, I am capable, I will grow, and I refuse to quit, your entire mindset begins to transform. Confidence is built through repeated thoughts, just like fear is. The problem is that most people allow negative thoughts to live in their minds rent-free. They wake up worried. They spend the day comparing themselves to others. They replay failures again and again until those failures become stronger than their vision. And without realizing it, they hand over control of their lives to fear, stress, and negativity. But powerful people think differently. They understand that the mind is like a garden. If you do not plant confidence, discipline, and positivity, weeds of doubt and negativity will grow automatically. Listen carefully. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you possess. It can either build your future or destroy your potential. Every successful athlete, entrepreneur, leader, or world changer first learned how to win mentally before they ever won physically. They mastered focus, they controlled distractions, they refused to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. That is why they keep moving forward while others stop at every obstacle. And here's the hook that can completely shift your life. You become what you repeatedly think about. If you think like a victim, you will live like a victim. If you think like a leader, you will start acting like one. Your thoughts influence your attitude influences your actions, and your actions create your results. Everything begins in the mind first. So every single day, guard your thoughts carefully, feed your mind with vision instead of fear. Replace excuses with discipline. Replace doubt with belief. Because once you gain control of your thoughts, you stop being controlled by circumstances. You stop waiting for confidence and start creating it. And when your mind becomes stronger than your excuses, your life begins to move in a completely different direction. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success, opportunities, and growth wherever they go, while others stay trapped in stress, negativity, and constant frustration? The answer often comes down to one simple but life-changing principle: focus. Whatever you focus on grows stronger in your life. Your mind works like a magnifying glass. It expands whatever you continuously give your attention to. If you focus on fear, problems begin to look bigger than they really are. But if you focus on solutions, possibilities, and growth, your energy shifts, your confidence rises, and your entire life starts moving in a new direction. Most people destroy their own potential because they spend too much time focusing on what is wrong instead of what is possible. They focus on failure, rejection, criticism, and limitations. They replay painful memories in their minds every day, giving power to things that should have been left behind long ago. And here's the dangerous part. Your brain cannot always tell the difference between what is real and what you repeatedly imagine. The more you focus on negativity, the more your mind trains itself to expect negativity. That is why some people walk into every situation already expecting failure before they even begin. Now imagine the power of changing that focus. Imagine waking up every day and training your mind to search for opportunity instead of obstacles. Imagine using your energy to build your future rather than feeding your fears. The strongest people in the world are not always the smartest or the most talented. They are the people who have learned how to direct their focus with purpose. They understand that energy is limited, and where they choose to place that energy determines the quality of their lives. Here's a powerful truth. What you focus on emotionally becomes your reality psychologically. If you constantly focus on what you lack, you will always feel empty. If you focus on progress, even small progress, you begin to feel stronger, more motivated, and more confident. This is why successful people protect their attention so carefully. They do not waste hours feeding their minds with negativity, gossip, or distraction. They stay focused on goals, growth, discipline, and solutions. They know that distractions destroy dreams faster than failure ever could. Let me give you a hook that can completely change the way you think. Your focus is your superpower. In a world full of distractions, the ability to focus deeply on your purpose gives you an advantage that most people will never have. Every great achievement in history was created by people who stayed focused even when life became difficult. They did not allow temporary emotions to pull them away from their mission. They trained themselves to keep their eyes on the vision, not the obstacle standing in front of them. And the truth is, life will always give you reasons to feel discouraged. There will always be critics, setbacks, disappointments, and moments of doubt. But your future depends on what you choose to focus on during those moments. Do you focus on the pain, or do you focus on the lesson? Do you focus on the setback, or do you focus on the comeback? Because the direction of your focus determines the direction of your life. The moment you stop feeding negativity and start feeding purpose, your mindset begins to transform. Your confidence becomes stronger. Your energy becomes sharper. Your actions become more powerful. And suddenly, opportunities that once seemed invisible begin appearing right in front of you. Everybody loves motivation when it feels exciting. People feel powerful after watching an inspiring video, listening to a great speech, or reading a successful story. For a moment, they feel unstoppable. They promise themselves they will work harder, dream bigger, and change their lives. But then reality shows up. The alarm rings early in the morning, the work becomes difficult, the excitement disappears, and suddenly the same person who felt motivated yesterday begins making excuses today. This is where most people fail. They depend on motivation to carry them through life. But motivation is temporary. Discipline is what changes lives permanently. Here's the truth that separates winners from everyone else. Successful people do not rely on feelings, they rely on habits. They understand that motivation comes and goes like the weather. Some days you feel inspired, and some days you feel tired, frustrated, or mentally exhausted. But discipline does not care about moods. Discipline says, do it anyway. And that simple mindset is what creates greatness over time. Think about the strongest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, and the people who rise to the top in any field. You think they wake up every single day feeling motivated? Absolutely not. There are days when they feel exhausted. There are moments when they doubt themselves. There are times when quitting feels easier than continuing, but they keep moving because discipline is stronger than emotion. They train themselves to act based on commitment, not comfort. Here is the hook that most people never realize. Your future is built on the days you do not feel like trying. Anybody can work hard when they feel excited. Anybody can chase goals when everything is going well. But real transformation happens when you continue showing up even when the excitement disappears. That is where character is built. That is where mental toughness is created. The problem with motivation is that it often depends on external energy. A speech inspires you. A song excites you. A success story pushes you temporarily. But discipline comes from within. It is a decision you make every day to stay committed, no matter how difficult life becomes. Discipline means choosing growth over comfort. It means waking up early when your mind says, sleep longer. It means staying focused when distractions are everywhere. It means continuing to work on your dreams even when nobody is clapping for you. And let's be honest, discipline is not easy. It is uncomfortable. It requires sacrifice. It forces you to face your excuses instead of hiding behind them. But every level of success demands a version of you that is stronger, sharper, and more committed than the person you are today. You cannot build an extraordinary life with ordinary habits. Small daily actions create massive long-term results. One disciplined decision repeated consistently can completely transform your future. The dangerous thing about excuses is that they feel comfortable in the moment but painful in the future. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you weaken your own potential. But every time you push through resistance, you strengthen your mindset. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. There will always be distractions. There will always be reasons to delay your goals. But disciplined people understand something powerful. Temporary discomfort creates permanent growth. They know that success is not about doing something once with intensity. It's about doing the right things consistently, even when nobody is watching. And once discipline becomes part of your identity, your entire life changes. Your confidence grows because you trust yourself. Your mindset becomes stronger because you stop depending on emotions. And your results begin to reflect the person you are becoming: focused, committed, and impossible to stop. But every single day of your life, you are making decisions that are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Some decisions seem small and harmless in the moment. Choosing comfort over discipline, fear over action, excuses over responsibility, but repeated over time, those choices become your reality. Your life today is the result of the decisions you made yesterday, and the life you will live tomorrow depends on the decisions you are making right now. That is why powerful people understand something most people ignore. Destiny is not created by chance. It is created by choice. Here is the hook that can completely change your mindset. One decision can change your entire life forever. One decision to believe in yourself. One decision to walk away from negativity. One decision to take action despite fear. One decision to stop settling for less than you deserve. History is filled with people whose lives transformed because they made one courageous decision at the right moment. And the truth is, your future may already be waiting on the other side of one bold choice. The problem is that many people spend their lives allowing emotions to make decisions for them. They make decisions based on fear, insecurity, comfort, and temporary feelings instead of vision and purpose. Fear tells them to stay safe. Doubt tells them to wait. Laziness tells them to delay action. And before they know it, years pass by while they remain stuck in the same place, living the same patterns, repeating the same excuses. But successful people think differently. They understand that if you do not take control of your decisions, your circumstances will take control of your life. Think about the power of a single decision. The decision to wake up earlier, the decision to learn a new skill, the decision to stop listening to people who constantly drain your energy, the decision to keep going after failure instead of quitting. These choices may feel small at first, but over time they create massive transformation. Every successful person you admire once stood where you stand now, uncertain, afraid, and full of questions. What separated them from others was not luck. It was the decision to move forward anyway. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that success happens suddenly. It does not. Success is built through daily decisions repeated consistently over time. Your habits, your mindset, your discipline, your confidence, all of it begins with a choice. Every morning you are deciding who you are becoming. You are either moving closer to your goals or drifting further away. From them, there is no neutral direction in life. And let's be honest, making powerful decisions is not always easy. Sometimes the right decision is uncomfortable. Sometimes growth requires sacrifice. Sometimes choosing your future means disappointing people who are comfortable with your past, but every level of growth demands courage. Weak decisions create weak results, while strong decisions create powerful futures. Here's another truth most people avoid. Indecision is also a decision. Waiting endlessly, overthinking constantly, and refusing to take action still shapes your future. The longer you stay trapped in hesitation, the more opportunities pass you by. Life rewards action, not excuses. You cannot build confidence by thinking about success. You build confidence by deciding to act despite uncertainty. Powerful decisions also create personal responsibility. The moment you stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck, you reclaim control over your life. Victims wait for change. Leaders create change. And the people who rise to extraordinary levels understand that their future is not determined by where they started, but by the decisions they are willing to make consistently. When your decisions become stronger than your fears, your life begins to transform. Your standards rise. Your mindset sharpens. Your actions become more intentional. And slowly, the version of yourself you once dreamed about starts becoming real because every powerful future is built one decision at a time. Fears destroyed more dreams than failure ever will. Think about that carefully. Most people are not stopped because they are incapable. They are stopped because they are afraid. Afraid of rejection, afraid of judgment, afraid of making mistakes, afraid of failing in front of other people. And because of that fear, millions of people spend their entire lives standing at the edge of opportunity without ever taking the step that could change everything. Here's the hook that can completely transform your life. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action while fear is screaming in your mind. The strongest people in the world still feel fear. The difference is that they refuse to let fear become the leader of their lives. They understand that fear is temporary, but regret can stay with a person forever. Imagine reaching the end of your life and realizing that the dreams you wanted were possible all along, but fear convinced you not to try. Imagine knowing you had talent, ideas, passion, and potential. Yet you stayed trapped in comfort because you were too afraid to fail. That pain is far greater than any temporary struggle you face while chasing success. Failure may hurt for a moment, but regret has the power to haunt a person for years. Most people believe fear is a sign to stop, but successful people see fear differently. They see fear as proof that growth is near. Every major breakthrough in life exists outside your comfort zone. You cannot become stronger while hiding in safety. You cannot discover your true potential while avoiding challenges. Growth demands discomfort. Transformation requires risk. Every successful entrepreneur, athlete, leader, or world changer had moments when fear told them to quit, turn back, or stay small, but they moved forward anyway. The dangerous thing about fear is that it often disguises itself as logic. It tells you to wait for the right time. It tells you to play it safe. It tells you to avoid risk and stay comfortable, but comfort can quietly destroy ambition. The longer you stay trapped in fear, the smaller your world becomes. Opportunities disappear. Confidence weakens. And eventually, people begin doubting themselves, not because they lack ability, but because they stop believing they could overcome fear. And let's be honest, fear feels real. Your heart races. Your mind fills with worst-case scenarios. Doubt becomes louder than your vision. But here's something powerful to remember. Fear is often nothing more than imagination focused in the wrong direction. Most of the things people worry about never even happen. Yet fear steals their confidence before life even gets the chance. To test them, the people who create extraordinary lives train themselves to act before they feel ready. They understand that confidence does not come first. Action creates confidence. Every time you face fear directly, you become mentally stronger. Every time you move, despite uncertainty, you prove to yourself that fear does not control you anymore. And slowly, the things that once terrified you begin losing power over your life. One of the greatest moments in life was realizing that fear was never the real enemy. Hesitation was. The opportunities you're searching for often exist behind the fears you keep avoiding. The life you want requires a version of you that is willing to step forward even when the outcome is uncertain. Fear may always exist at some level, but so does courage. And every single day, you get to decide which one will control your future. The people who rise to greatness are not fearless people. They are people who made a powerful decision that their dreams matter more than their fear. There is a level of power inside you that most people never discover, not because they do not have it, but because they never learn how to control their own mind. They allow emotions to control their actions, distractions to control their focus, and circumstances to control their attitude. But the moment you begin mastering your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, something incredible happens. You become unstoppable, not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you become stronger than the challenges standing in front of you. Here's the hook that can completely shift your mindset. The strongest person in the room is not always the loudest, richest, or most talented. It is the person who has mastered themselves. Self-mastery is one of the most powerful skills any human being can develop. When you control your mind, you stop reacting emotionally to every setback. You stop allowing temporary situations to destroy your confidence. You become calm under pressure, focused during chaos, and determined when others give up. Most people spend their lives trying to control external things, other people, circumstances, outcomes, or opportunities, while completely ignoring the one thing they truly have power over, themselves. And that is why they remain frustrated. Real power begins internally. The ability to control your emotions when life becomes difficult is what separates mentally strong people from emotionally weak people. Think about how many dreams are destroyed not by failure, but by lack of emotional control. One moment of anger ruins relationships. One moment of fear destroys opportunity. One moment of doubt causes someone to quit too early. Emotions are powerful, but when emotions control your decisions, your life becomes unstable. Strong people feel emotions just like everyone else, but they do not allow emotions to become their master. They train themselves to respond with discipline instead of reacting with impulse. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is because they let negativity dominate their minds. They replay criticism. They overthink mistakes. They constantly focus on what is going wrong instead of what is still possible. But mentally powerful people understand something important. Your mind becomes stronger when you stop feeding it weakness. They protect their energy. They guard their focus. They choose thoughts that build them instead of thoughts that break them. And let's be honest, mastering your mind is not easy. There will be moments when stress pushes you to your limits. There will be days when frustration tests your patience. There will be situations where quitting feels easier than continuing, but every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your mental discipline. Every difficult moment is teaching you how to become stronger, wiser, and more focused. Here's another powerful truth. An unstoppable person is not someone who never struggles. It is someone who refuses to stay down after struggle. Life will hit everyone. Failure will visit everyone. Pain is part of the human experience. But mentally strong people do not allow pain to define their identity. They use setbacks as fuel. They turn pressure into growth. They understand that every challenge is developing the resilience needed for the next level of success. The world is full of distractions designed to weaken focus and steal attention. Social media, negativity, fear, comparison, and constant noise pull people away from their purpose every single day. That is why mental control has become one of the rarest and most valuable strengths in modern life. The ability to stay focused in a distracted world gives you an advantage most people will never have. And once you master your mind, your entire life begins to operate differently. Your confidence no longer depends on approval from others. Your happiness no longer depends on perfect circumstances. Your discipline becomes stronger than your excuses. Your focus becomes stronger than distractions. And your vision becomes stronger than fear. That is when people become unstoppable, not because obstacles disappear, but because their mindset becomes too powerful to be destroyed by temporary challenges. So today I challenge you to become mentally unstoppable. When pain comes, grow stronger. When failure comes, grow wiser. When fear comes, move forward anyway. Because the moment you master your thoughts, you master your emotions. And the moment you master your emotions, you master your actions. And your actions create your destiny. Let me close with this. Your life changes the moment you realize that your mind is the steering wheel of your future. If you control your mind, you control your habits. If you control your habits, you control your action. And if you control your actions, you control your entire life. So stand up today with power, with confidence, and with belief in yourself. Train your mind to see opportunity instead of fear. Train your mind to move instead of quitting. And remember this for the rest of your life. The day you control your mind is the day you control everything. Thank you.